Plaintiff Lakeisha Harrell says she took her niece in because she lived in a bad school district, and Lakeisha wanted her to go to a good school. Lakeisha claims while her niece was staying at her home, her sister-in-law didn't give her enough money to cover all of her expenses, so she's suing. Defendant Carol Cook and her daughter Brianna say when Brianna moved in with Lakeisha, Carol thought it would be great because Brianna would get a good education and babysit Lakeisha's children. Carolyn says she paid Lakeisha every month for Brianna's expenses and therefore doesn't owe her a dime.
Tell me what happened.
Okay, Your Honor, first and foremost, I am a product of Detroit Public Schools. So I don't want to knock Detroit Public Schools, but in June of 2007, my sister-in-law called me and told me that the only school in her district was Finney High for her daughter Brianna, and she did not want her baby to go to Finney High School.
Why not?
And well, Finney High School is known for gang activities, and as a matter of fact, there was a shooting at the school at the beginning of the 2007 school year.
What high school did you go to?
I went to Denby.
What year?
99 is when I graduated. So
how'd you do?
Well, I came out with a B+ average, and right
Did you
now
go to college?
I have a certification. I'm sorry, in business administration.
From where?
Baker College.
All right. You did all right?
Yeah, I did all right.
So
Came out in the top 5 of my class.
Good.
So,
all right. So, as you say, you don't want to knock Detroit Public Schools.
Right.
You did well.
Right.
Unfortunately,
they have declined.
Most
over
students
the years.
aren't.
Right.
In
Absolutely.
Detroit Public Schools. In fact, over half of the students in Detroit Public School do not graduate.
That's true.
Over half of the freshmen do not graduate as seniors 4 years later. And that is not only a commentary on the students, I think it's more a commentary on society.
Correct.
You know, and because everybody's failing these students. This is happening in every big city in America. Detroit is not the only one. They've taken over at least 5 big school districts in America because the local school districts were failing so badly. When they're not taking over the school district, the state government is failing because they provide unequal funding. And they say, and try and rationalize it, is because they're paying higher taxes in the suburbs than they are in the inner city, but I don't believe the amount of taxes you pay should determine the quality of your child's education. I think that's wrong. And so, it's unfortunate, and I'm not letting the parents off the hook either.
Right.
Something else is going on, and one of it is parental neglect, and the other is the school districts, unfortunately, have so much social dysfunction that the good teachers don't want to come there, so you get substandard and less trained teachers. You get a weaker curriculum because the students aren't prepared at home to handle the strong curriculums, and the social dysfunction is parents don't know how to parent, don't know how to educate because they haven't been educated. So all that put in the pot and mixed up, yeah, the children are the one to sacrifice. And while I'm preaching, let me suggest that what I think should happen is that we need to take our heads out of the sand, stop pointing the finger at the teacher, the parent, and everyone, and provide wraparound services for these children. You keep them at the school, those who have marginal or failing grades, you make them stay at school. You give them dinner, you give them tutoring, you give them exercise, so when they go home, they're too tired to do anything other than clean their room and go to bed.
I agree with that.
So, you're right, we're not going to knock the Detroit public school system, but we're going to knock everybody involved with the children's education system. So, what happened?
She called me because me and my husband, we bought a home in Port Huron, Michigan, outside of Detroit, and she called me and said that her child wasn't going to Finney, and she wanted to know if she could come up to go to school from our house. Okay. And I said, yeah. My husband said no. Automatically, he said no. But I thought it was a good idea, so after a little persuasion, I talked my husband into it. When Carol came up and she brought Brianna, Carol, and my husband sat down at the table, and we discussed what we expected out of Brianna, because marginal is not acceptable in my house. I have 2 children on the honor roll, 2 straight A students, so marginal is not an option. She had to do chores like my 3.
The circumstances you grew up in, was
Okay.
your mother?
My mother was in the house, but my father wasn't.
Did she put a lot of emphasis on education?
Yeah, she did. Absolutely.
Yeah, made sure you did your work.
Oh, yeah. And
So
if I
even
didn't,
though
I
you
paid for
went
it.
to a school where a lot of people were dropping out and
Right.
were not educationally motivated, it was because your parent
Right.
was motivated and made sure that you did your work and focused on education.
Yes,
Right? So
absolutely.
once again, we see an example of a parent who was motivated.
Yes, a single parent that was
Right.
motivated.
And so was my mother
Right.
until I just went totally wild. When she couldn't control me anymore, I had to do my homework every evening. And she emphasized education. I got kicked out of 3 schools, and then she put me in the church school. Unfortunately, she worked midnights, and so I did my homework. By the time she went to work, I did a lot of other
Right.
things. That's
Right.
where I got in trouble. So the formula worked for you. You were
it did.
trying to help your niece, and your husband didn't want it to happen.
No.
But you being from Detroit,
Yeah.
you knew how to convince your husband.
Yeah, that too.
Let me hear your background.
Well, my daughter did not want to attend Detroit Public Schools so that she can get a good education. And she would also be helping them with providing babysitting services for their 3 children. And we all agreed, that she could stay there. We agreed on an amount that I would pay bi-weekly or on a monthly basis.
How much was that?
It was $250 a month.
Okay.
Okay. They, at one point in time, decided, $250 was not enough, and they wanted to increase what I was paying.
All right, let her get back to telling me why she's suing
Your
you
Honor.
for the tax return stimulus check.
Okay, well,
Was the agreement $250 a
yeah,
month?
per
All
month.
right.
Okay,
Then
that
what
was in the
happened?
beginning when she came in June. We sat down and we talked about it, but that was before we figured out that Brianna ate as
Then
much
what
as she
happened,
did.
ma'am?
It was just a $25 increase
So it
per
was
month.
$275 per month beginning when?
That began in October.
No, sir, it was not $275.
It was $25 every 2 weeks. So it was $300.
$300 a
the
month
month.
beginning in October.
No, sir.
All right. What do you say it was?
Whenever they discussed an increase, it was more along the lines of, I believe it was December,
Okay.
and instead
Nevertheless,
of
you
October.
never agreed to it, and you continued to send your child there. What was the agreement on tax returns?
Sir, the agreement was that when she filed, she was going to file Brianna, and she would give us $500 because
As
That
a
is not
gift?
true.
Yes,
As a gift?
Yes, sir. Because
All right. Now let's get to the stimulus check.
Okay, now the stimulus check came because of the fact that she filed Brianna on her 2007.
What was the agreement on the stimulus check?
That she would give us what she was getting for Brianna
That
from her
is not
taxes.
true.
When she got her money, that she would give us the $500
As
that
a
she
gift?
got. Yes, sir.
All right. Good enough. And the unpaid child care services is for what?
Okay, Your Honor. I have a breakdown if you'd like to see that of all of the things that I had to purchase for Brianna outside of the couple of things her mother sent her with because Brianna.
Did her mother pay $250 a month?
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's see that. When did you tell her you were paying extra? When did you notify her I'm having to pay extra?
That was right when school started in September.
Did she ever tell you she had to pay for some and wanted you to repay her?
No, sir.
You never mentioned this to her?
Yes, sir, and this
All
is my
right.
witness to
All
some
right.
of the phone conversations.
Come on up. State
as well
your
as a
name.
notarized letter from my husband, who
Let's
was
see
a
it.
part
Saying
of
what?
the whole thing. That
Saying
we
what?
sat down and had the agreement about the $500
Go
of the
ahead,
tax
ma'am.
money.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I am a witness to some of the conversations, and she told her that she would have to pay her extra money because you didn't supply these
Good
things.
enough. And ma'am, as she said, she wanted to increase it because it wasn't enough, and you refused to do so even though you left your child there.
Right.
I'm going to grant you your $200 unpaid child care expenses because I believe it. Unfortunately, ma'am, promise of a gift is not enforceable.
Oh, can I say
And
one more thing?
No,
Oh.
you can't. You've said everything you need to say. I asked you twice whether those 2 things, the tax return and the stimulus checks, were gifts. Both times you said yes. Gifts are unenforceable under the law. It promised to give. If she gave it to you, then it's complete. Then she can't take it back.
Right.
But until it's complete, it's a promise of a gift, and a person can take that back anytime they want. $200 for the plaintiff. Have a good day.